You're on.
You know, the thing I figured out today was that evil people have a reason they become evil. I'm not saying they are justified in that reason, but I'm just saying they have a reason for it. Maybe somebody was evil to them and they just can't let go of that vengeance thing, you know. And the Bible tells us that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. See, we lean on God. God takes our vengeance. He's taken mine several times.
Mine too.
I'm looking at it. It's in Romans 12:19. The Lord says, vengeance is mine. It literally says there, I will repay. In other words, you know, He's not wanting us to take our own vengeance, but there's people that just can't let go. And right now, part of the trouble in the in the debate between Republicans and Democrats and Donald Trump and the people that are following him, who are neither, and I am one of those, and definitely not libertarian, but there's something new coming along. But people on both sides there are having trouble forgiving, having trouble getting revenge. Excuse me, in letting go of getting revenge, I'm saying. And even though I'm voting for Trump, man, I'd like to see the getting along with a little more people. But I think, excuse me, see, the trouble, you notice the most rowdy people are, the media try to show it as those Trump followers, but the most rowdy people are not. The people that hate Trump are the ones that are most rowdy. And the reason for that is because those people are farther away from God. A lot of Trump followers are Christian kind of people. Most of them are. Not all of them. The ones you hear from the most are not. But there's a lot of Christians following Trump right now. And for good reason, because the other side is destroying our godly Constitution and everything that it's about. Liberals want the world to become more like the United States, rather, they want the United States to become more like the rest of the world. Well, the rest of the world doesn't have much of God in it. But yeah, we gotta let Jesus take the wheel. You know, in our life, if we want to triumph and control this thing and have victory in who God is, then we have to do that. We literally have to let Him take the wheel. Have to let God take our vengeance, you know, and pray and lean on the Lord and do the thing. Now, I know it becomes necessary to have war sometimes, you know, but try to avoid that as much as possible within your own country. Psalms 73:28 is where we are right now, and that's what it is saying. As for me, King James, but it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord, that I may declare all of His works, all thy works. Putting your trust, you know, that's what people are having trouble with, putting their trust. God says, I'm going to do this. You know, trust. I'm going to make your enemies, like He said to King David in the book of Psalms. Let's find that. I'm going to make your enemies sit here under my feet, he says. No, truthfully, I don't get a lot of this until I sit down and start talking to you, so I can't just not do it, you know, not look it up when God's saying give him this verse and give him that, so I got to do it. The Lord saying to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. In other words, God's going to let our enemies be that which we rest our feet upon. And a lot of people say this is a promise to just Psalms 110 verse 1. And this also is what?
Nothing.
You tired?
No.
This is also to us. Oh, you're hot, ain't you? Why don't you put on the air?
Honey, please do.
Hey, these guys love me. They don't care if I talk to you for a second. You can put on the air.
I have the windows open.
Oh, you're good? Okay.
I'm good.
Hey, you got to take care of your honey. You know what I mean? But let's take a lesson now. You need to pay attention. If you're doing something important, you need to pay attention to your wife. See what's going on. She has to know that you care. And truthfully, that's the thing that you got to do with your enemy. You know, you can win your enemy over if he knows that you care about him. It's just that easy. You can win him over if he knows that you care about him. A Psalm of David. The Lord said to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand, so I make thy enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule that, and this is through Christ. This is the book of Psalms talking about Christ. Talking about Christ overcoming our enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. And in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. And Christ was here within his youth. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. And that's talking about, of course, in the war, the Isaiah 17 war. These are the things that God is talking about. You know, a lot of people, they read the Bible and they just don't understand it. They just don't understand it. But if you take the things to heart of the Bible as you read, God, Psalms 101, it says, thy word, Psalms 101 verse 11, thy word have I hid in my heart. This is what you got to do. To understand the Bible, you have to hide those words in your heart. Consider those words in your heart. Let them be a part of who you are. And these things are easy. They're easy because, you know, you think, well, when you hear something like this, you think, well, that's exactly what it says over there on that other page. And you're able to fit God's mosaic puzzle of life. I think they call it the mosaic puzzle because of the Ten Commandments fitting within our lives. And that's exactly what God is trying. He's not trying to take us away from those. He's trying to make us fulfill those with love. Fulfill those with love. Excuse me. Look at this. Proverbs 16:3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The more I do for God, the more my thoughts are established. My thoughts are not allowed to run wild. My thoughts are not allowed to get on sexual impurities. My thoughts are not allowed to think about fighting. My thoughts are not allowed to think on what my enemies may do to me. But when I commit my works unto God, all these things come into perspective. The Bible says in the book of Psalms, it says, when the enemy comes in like a flood, it says the Lord will rise up a standard. And let's go look where that is. I want to give you these verses so you can go read before and around, because I am not trying to pull your chain, man. I am not trying to con you. Excuse me. But I'm trying to give to you exactly what God has said, to lead you down that road. Okay. And okay, I got it. Yeah, right there. He will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind whose mind is stayed on thee, and he trusts in thee. Okay, yeah, and I did forget that other verse, but I'll try to have that for you. Okay, I'll post it on. Because sometimes I interrupt myself and cause my train wreck to go in a different direction. But you have to forgive me, because I'm kind of feeling down, a little bit under the weather, so just forgive me, okay? Like you would your enemy. Forgive your enemy. If you would, you know, if you're forgiving your enemy, what more should you do for your brother? Okay. Okay, let's pick the train up, put it back on the track now, okay? Commit your works unto the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Commit your works unto the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Now, it's not talking about you won't lose track of what you're trying to say to people. So that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about your thoughts as far as purity goes. As far as purity goes. And I'll show you this, okay? Proverbs 16. Let's just go back. Let's hop over to Proverbs 16. The King James Bible, and let's read before and after. And Proverbs 16. The preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue, is from the Lord. That's talking about in ministry. In the ways of God, the things of God. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. See? All the ways of man. It's talking about getting away from the ways of man. But the Lord weigheth the spirit. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Guy asked me the other day, said, who made the devil? And I know he was an atheist. And I said he made himself. He was trying to say, since God created the devil, that God was evil just like the devil is. But God didn't put the evil in him. But he allowed him in the fashion that he allowed him. So the man was trying to accuse God because God allowed the devil to be evil. And God would do it. Men on earth, God allows men to be evil. God allows certain religions that are extremely violent. He allows that. Why? For the day of judgment. For the accusation against sin. For the accusation against the enemy, who the devil is. For the accusation against, and not just that accusation, but for the judgment against the evil that it has caused. And everything. And in the end, it will be shown for that. It will be shown for that. So how do we keep our minds on the Lord? You establish your works. There's so many people, when you get to working for God, when you get lax, when you go hop church to church to church, those kind of things cause you to be unconnected to God. You pluck yourself up. But move into circles where the Spirit of God is. Okay? Move in those circles where the Spirit of God. Stay established. Once you get somewhere, stay established. Stay established. And try to get your family there. Do the best that you can. And let God do the rest. Alrighty, God bless you. Thank you for joining. We'll see you again next time. Another great message right here, Crossing the Middle Ministry.